So like I said at the end of the last video, that was tricky. It was the end of the video, but it's not the end of the process. The end of the process is in fact a little bit of an infinite loop. It's iterative improvement. Yep, we went through all this work to define the strategy and get it all right and build a website with purpose, on purpose. But the truth of it is, that's still just our best guess and a little bit of user testing. You've got a lot of knowledge about your business. We've got a lot of knowledge about website development. We probably did a pretty good job together, but nothing stands the test like putting it in front of actual customers. So once they see that, it's our job to iterate and improve, just tweaking those little things. Imagine if we hadn't caught that cart icon button on the mouse rug site. That'd be a real quick improvement we'd make right after launch. So there's a number of things that we can do on a proactive basis just to see how things are going. We're going to look at your Google Analytics and review that regularly and try to tease out of that, are visitors using the user flows that we intended in the strategy, that we wrote down in the strategy side of it? Are they actually finding those threads and staying on them? Or maybe they're getting lost. Maybe they're getting frustrated and leaving. Maybe they're hopping between flows and there's shortcuts or long ways that we didn't conceive of. So we analyze all of that and just really try to find out what is the data telling us and make changes to make those flows faster, better, easier, and ultimately increase conversions. We're also going to look at speed monitoring. So how fast is the site loading? It's well-known statistic, and you can get it from about anywhere, that the faster your site runs, the more people find their way to the end and do what you want them to do. Why? It's pretty obvious. When you're working with a slow site, it's frustrating. People just give up. So we want to make sure that your site's running as fast as possible. So we look at that with regularity. Let's say we want to try something new. Maybe we've got 2 user flows or an old user flow and then an idea for a new one. Well, the best thing to do is to keep the old one, conceive of the new one, and then set up what's called A/B split testing, which means your website is going to randomly deliver one version or the other to visitors throughout the day, throughout the weeks, long enough that we get a big enough sample size that we can make a legitimate decision and say, okay, after 1,000 people went through this and about half of them got version A and about half of them got version B, what % converted in each case? Is one of them actually statistically, scientifically better than the other version? That's A/B split testing. We can do that. It can be really effective, and it will tell you with scientific certainty whether a blue button is better than a green button. That's an old classic. Or whether one user flow or one particular set of messaging works better than others. In our experience, we've seen tests come back where there's really no difference. We've seen tests come back where one converts 2 or 3 times better than the original version. Or, in some cases, where the original version converts 2 or 3 times better than the new fancy thing we thought up. And that's why we test. We can also experiment with interrupt to convert. So, I mean, I hate pop-ups. I really do. I have to admit that they're effective. So the key is to use them in a classy and elegant way and only as minimally as possible. My favorite is the on-exit intent. You've probably noticed this along the way where you're on a website and you're maybe not seeing what you need to see, and you go to close the tab, you move the mouse, and as your mouse goes off screen up to the X, well, nerds figured out how to track that. And they know you're about to close the site. It's like, wait, don't go. In fact, at the time of this video, our website does that. You go to the Copperleaf Creative website, you want to see this in action, go anywhere you want on the site, and then when you go to close it, it'll probably pop something up that says, hey, do you want a website evaluation? So that's an opportunity to get a last chance thing, because the fact actually is, they were leaving anyway. So it's a perfect time to give them a pop-up and just give it one last try. And in fact, I love playing with the content of those pop-ups because it's an opportunity to be funny and to surprise people and to entice them back into your site. Finally, we can help with email marketing and setting up drip campaigns, whether that's abandoned cart emails in an e-commerce sense, or getting people into a classic e-learning free, maybe it's a DIY course. These are all classic marketing things. We can help you out with the tech and get those iterative improvement cycles going so that launch is not the end of our relationship. That's where a lot of web developers disappear and you can't find them again. Not so with us. We stick around, not just for support, but to continually make that site better and better and better until we hit that point of diminishing returns, and then you've got a fully optimized, fully functional website with purpose, on purpose, and performing as well as it can.